Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Just wanted to give a bit of an introduction about myself through a Q&A. I've asked you guys some questions through my Instagram, and I'll just be going through them and giving you guys a few insights into me and my life. Alright, let's get into the first question. How do you manage the lifestyle you're doing? And I think it's a funny question. Funny of you to assume that I manage my lifestyle well. But we tend to think that, we need to be able to control, manage, and flow probably like 10 things at a time. Sometimes people say, oh, how do you manage everything that you have going on? And I'm just there like, okay, but have you probably given yourself too much to manage? So what I actually try to do is I try to now give myself as little stuff to manage in my day. I just have a day, which is Sunday, and I just tell myself, hey, I just want to do one thing today and one thing every day this week. And I figure out what that is for me, whether that would be, and that's usually one hard task. So it would just be, hey, if I'm going to study, it's going to be one topic or one subject, and that's all that I'm doing. Because realistically, you can only give so much of your focus and your discipline towards something that requires a lot of effort. So dividing my tasks into seeing what needs high effort or the highest amount of agency to the least amount of agency is what really helps me. One thing that I use to manage my time that I really wish I learned earlier in my journey in university is just understanding how your brain works, understanding that your brain can only do certain things in certain times, and your brain really likes that aspect of waking up at the same time every single day. You can't manage your time if you wake up at different times every single day, but what you can do is if you have a good routine and not necessarily knowing what you're doing to the minute, but knowing what you're doing by the task makes it a lot easier for yourself. Because usually what happens is when we procrastinate, we end up giving ourselves too many tasks to do in the day because we end up falling behind. But if you're just able to just tell yourself that, hey, I only just need to do one thing today. And to be fair, depending on how you're doing in life, that one thing could literally just be making your bed, and that day's a win. It's about making those small wins into your day to help you manage your day. And one of the easiest ways to help you manage your days is just to have rewards throughout your day. For me, going to the gym is a reward. Having a good meal is a reward. So if you're able to do that, incorporating a meal or like a snack-based reward for a task, but don't try and make it like, oh, let me get an ice cream every single time I finish studying, because it's like, come on, you're just like feeding yourself with unhealthy food. But maybe you can say, sometimes I say, hey, I'm not gonna have lunch until I've done my studying, because usually after I study, I feel sleepy and I feel tired, right? So I tell myself, hey, let's do the hard work before we eat, and then we reward ourselves with a meal, and let's do the easy work after. Simple. Try not to overcomplicate it. Wake up at the same time, sleep at the same time, get hard stuff done in the morning, get easier stuff done in the afternoon, and get ready for bed in the evening. And then just do that, and then just repeat. But yeah, I love the question. Another one is, what's your definition of purpose, and how do we actualize it even in the storm? For me, I've been thinking about the idea of purpose for such a long time. I think purpose is the true motivator, even though I don't like the word motivation, but purpose is the true reason why we do things. And it's the real reason why, especially when all basic needs have been met, it can be one of the biggest activators for you to actually do stuff. I've identified my purpose through the lens of this one question, which is, who do you want to help? Who do you want to help, and why do you want to help them? And I think this is so special because you see it throughout people who are genuinely satisfied with what they're doing, and they feel like what they're doing doesn't feel like a chore. I think it's also a privilege. We get to live in a time now more than ever where we can choose to have a job or have a working lifestyle that makes us happy. The question, who do you want to help, isn't necessarily just for people who are like doctors and stuff like that. You can help people with any field of service. Let me give you an example. If you wanted to be an accountant, you wouldn't just say, hey, I want to be an accountant. No, I'd ask you, who do you want to help? And you say, I want to help people with their money. You don't have to be an accountant to help people with their money. After asking the question, who do you want to help? You'd ask yourself, why, right? Why do I want to help them? your why could be, I want to help people with their money because I feel like, for me, I never felt like I had a good connection with money, and now that I do, I want to share that to the world. And you take that insight and say, okay, that's amazing. That's really cool. How do we get that done? Some people say, hey, I need a qualification for this, right? So what they would do is get a degree or maybe go on a course and learn technical financial management skills for them to be able to say, hey, I love helping people with their money. I have this accreditation. You should trust me because I've been doing this for X amount of time. Or you just say, hey, maybe you want to help people who are completely inexperienced. Then you don't even need that much accreditation. You just need a good story to say, hey, I want to help you with your money right now. I know I've been where you are. I've been in your struggle. Let me show you how this can help. And this doesn't always have to be for some big corporation conglomerate we idolize. We tend to think that that fulfillment or that purpose is fulfilled with that high-paying job that we all want to seek out. But if you're asking this question, I think you'd already know that money then wouldn't be the answer. I think we also get misled into thinking that money doesn't come with us fulfilling our purpose. With your purpose, with you serving and you helping people along the way and learning how to monetize that is how you not just fulfill your purpose, but also give yourself an earning potential within that purpose. Building a system around you which rewards you for being serviceful to people. That's such a good question. Thank you for that question. Next one is, what keeps you motivated? Honestly, I ask myself the same thing every day. It's so easy to fail publicly. It's so easy to stumble. It's so easy to make mistakes, especially when you want to share advice, knowledge, and learn along the way too. You know, as a student, you don't like failing. You don't like getting the answers wrong, especially publicly. You know, usually in school, whenever you saw that there was someone with like a 20% on their paper, you look at them a bit differently. I feel like I'm the guy now that's getting 20% on a paper and showing it to the world. Nice. But I'm more motivated by the amount of people in the world that aren't given the opportunity to dream and have a positive mindset in this world. I'm really blessed to be able to have that dream of wanting to give back to as many people as I can in whatever way I can through instilling a positive mindset to those that I can interact with in my life, and being able to start with communicative skills through either talking to a camera, you know, learning about production, learning about video production, skills that I'm using and trying to improve on, and to also fail publicly with them to see where I can go. That's what keeps me going, because I know that there's a bigger mission, there's a bigger picture to everything that I do. I think we shouldn't be afraid to fail publicly if the dream is big enough. I think a lot of our fears are internal. They are meant to protect us and keep us safe, but I think now more than ever they're also in place to limit us and prevent us from being the person that we can be one day. And my last question, what made you make a newsletter? Nice. That's a nice plug. I'll plug the newsletter down below. It is a newsletter with insights every single week, every Wednesday, free at willem.motelmasole.com. You can just subscribe there, or you can just read on the website. It's where I talk about either stuff I bring up in YouTube videos or just insights about the student life, how to find purpose, performance, stuff that I normally love to talk about, or habits, technical insights, discipline, all that stuff, dissecting it and giving it in a more long form and easy to read way. And like I said, it's completely free. I'd love to know more about what you guys are into, what type of questions you guys have, getting more into the practical insights and getting more into the details behind what students really, how they think. This thing of purpose and truth and mission and network. There's so many elements to just being a 20-year-old. And I think it's so awesome. With that, I get to share it now with all of you guys and fail publicly and learn across the way. And I hope that you guys will give me the blessing to be able to learn, to trip, to fall, and to make mistakes, to make a fool of myself, honestly, but to smile along the way. And I hope you guys enjoy. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for your questions, and hopefully I can do this in a couple months time again with hopefully new faces, new problems, and new solutions. I thank you. Okay, bye-bye guys.